Thank you, Georgina. Okay, so a little bit about why Portugal. First, to clear up the air, the Portugal Golden Visa still exists, and it has changed a little bit, but it still exists, and it's still one of the best residency programs in the world, as you will see in this webinar. Why Portugal? It's one of the most welcoming country for expats. It's the sixth most peaceful country in the world under the recent Global Peace Index. It's one of the best retirement destinations in the world. We get lots of questions about it. It has one of the best healthcare systems in the world, and it also has one of the best education systems in the world. So it's a great country, although the Portugal Golden Visa doesn't need us to relocate, but it is a great country actually to live in. A lot of our Portugal Golden Visa investors do say that after visiting the country once, twice for the biometric, they say, hey, we can retire here. So it has a great expat lifestyle, great quality of life, really easy to settle in. People are friendly, people speak English. It's a great place. Also, cost of living is low. A meal can cost 5 to 7 euros. Wine is cheap. So it is a great place actually to live. And it's also one of the best retirement destinations. So after Costa Rica, Portugal is one of the best retirement destination. And also, it's one of the European countries with the lowest cost of living. It is also, weather is nice all year round. Portugal prides itself with 300 sunny days per year, 3,000 sunny hours per year. That's great because it's also great for solar power, and it's very in the forefront of renewable energy. And also, it has a high life expectancy because people are healthy, the food is great, fresh and healthy, and the lifestyle, there's a lot of walking, the riversides are beautiful, so it does encourage a lot of an active lifestyle. It's also one of the most peaceful countries in the world. After Iceland, Denmark, Ireland, New Zealand, Austria, Singapore, Portugal is the most peaceful country in the world. English is widely spoken. We get asked this a lot of the time. In fact, much like Malaysia and Singapore, 60% speak fluent English. In the main cities of Lisbon, Algarve, and Porto, you would not have any problem getting by in English. Also, it ranks in the forefront for the ESG index, and we will show you an ESG-friendly property or an ESG-friendly investment. I really think ESG is important because it is a flavor for investors, but I also think that ESG investments have a good exit or a good resale value. It's one of the best golf destinations in the world, which brings us to a place called Algarve with 32 golf courses and one of the best golf destinations in the world. Algarve, where this investment is situated, wins Europe's leading beach destination at World Travel Awards. Algarve is like the Bali of Europe. It's where a lot of us would go for a holiday destination, for the beach, and relaxed lifestyle. A lot of the spas and medical tourism are also situated there. In fact, Algarve has record tourism levels in 2023. It's raised more than 1.5 billion for the country, and there were more than 5.13 million visitors in 2023. What are some of the things you can do in Algarve? Well, many. Golf is one. The seaside is another. There is water parks. There is lots of nature walks, lots of fish. If you like eating fish, Algarve is one of the best destinations. Wineries, and yeah, car trips. So it's actually a really, really pleasant place to visit. You should visit, and that's why it won Europe's leading destination to visit. I will pass the baton to Gustavo. And Gustavo, one moment. Let me see if I can let you click through.
Sure.
If we can't, I will help you click through, but let me try this.
Sure.
There you go, remote control, Gustavo, it is. You have to approve it.
Okay.
See?
Yes,
There we
it's
go.
working.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, Judith. Thank you, Internegri, for organizing this great webinar. I think more than ever, it's absolutely essential that we can manage to explain everyone. And I would like to also welcome all the attendees to this event. It's really important for everyone to understand exactly what's the current situation, how did the Golden Visa program changed. Important to highlight, as Judith mentioned, changed, not ended. Okay, so there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of fake news being shared all over the world in websites and groups. And thankfully, after a lot of discussions, a lot of questions, a lot of issues, the program continues, and we already have full clarity on exactly how it will continue, how a client or an investor can apply, what are the benefits and the guarantees and all of that. So the program itself and in general remains exactly the same as it was before. Okay, so in terms of the main benefits, in terms of the advantages, what the clients can get from it for themselves and for the family, the possibility of the family reunification, and also really important, the possibility to apply after a certain period, at least 5 years, to the Portuguese passport or the permanent residence, meaning that the Golden Visa will work as a temporary residency permit. And like the name, it's like the official name says, it's a temporary residency by investment. So the clients must select an eligible investment from the current legal framework and the current options available for this purpose, and then they can apply for this temporary residency, which, as we will see along the presentation, it will give a lot of benefits and a lot of advantages to everyone involved. Important just to highlight, following the really good introduction that was made by Georgina, that we at CRS have been dealing with the Golden Visa program for a long time already. We've been dealing with more than 40 different nationalities, and we currently have an ongoing database of more than 650 Golden Visa clients of every possible investment that we can imagine. So we are confident that we have the know-how, the capability and the knowledge to assist any investor that wants to apply for this program or any other, regardless of the route, the investment or the option that they choose. In terms of benefits and advantages, as mentioned, everything remained the same. So this is still a temporary residence investment that it's the only one that has such short minimum stay requirements, so an average of 7 days per year or 14 days every 2 years, depending on the validity of the card. It's also a program that allows the applicants in Portugal to basically do and benefit from anything, from living, working, starting business, healthcare, education, all of it. And abroad, it will basically be a golden ticket, like a card that will give visa-free travel around the Schengen area. Also important, as mentioned before, the possibility after a certain period, at least 5 years, to apply to one of the strongest passports in the world. The truth is that the Portuguese passport has always been one of the top-notch passports that everyone can obtain. And from the moment an applicant obtains the same benefits and advantages that you had before with the Golden Visa only in Portugal, or mostly in Portugal in this case, with the Portuguese passport, you get the same benefits and advantages in the European Union. So this is why it's so important to have an EU passport, because you don't just get a really strong position and a new nationality and the possible plan B or C to you and your family in Portugal, but also in the other European Union countries, which will give you a lot more possibilities and a variety of options worldwide. In terms of the general requirements, just like the general benefits, everything remained the same. Okay, so you need to select a qualified investment to be able to apply. The funds must be transferred from abroad to Portugal in order to make the investment. You need to have a clean criminal record in order to apply, and the investment must be kept during the entire period of the golden visa, okay? At the same time, during the renewal stages, what you need to focus on, it's as simple as complying with the minimum stay requirements, which will be always related to the validity of the card and will be an average of 7 days per year. Again, the only program that allows this possibility here in Portugal. All the other residence permits demand you to almost relocate to Portugal or at least spend here most of the time. So this is one of the many beauties of the golden visa. Also, the family reunification possibility remained the same. So all the direct family members, as we normally call it, can still be part of the application. So with one investment, the investor can bring spouse or partner, the children, regardless of the age, but of course, depending on the age that they have, the requirements will be different. The older they are, the more dependency and requirements they need to prove. The same applies to the parents and the parents of the spouse, because it's also related to the age criteria. And last but not least, in certain specific situations where the custody of the siblings belong per se to the main applicant or the spouse, these siblings can also be part of the application. It's not too common. That's why usually, and probably if you look into several pages, into several presentations, you will see the focus being more related to the spouse or partner, the children, and the parents. In terms of the qualifying investment, so this is where we have to focus, because this is what changed. So as you know, before, there were a lot of possibilities of investment, and the most common one was the investment through real estate, through the real estate route. However, this was the biggest change since October 2023, since with the new law, all the real estate options have been revoked, and therefore an investor cannot simply select a property regardless of the area, location, type of property, purpose of the same, and then an amount, and then apply for the golden visa under one of the options that they had before. So now the clients have 5 valid options in order to apply for the program. We will focus on this webinar because it's the one that Living Group will present as an option. And we already, by the way, I want to highlight it, we already did our homework and we already analyzed the option in terms of being eligible and legal under the current legal framework. And it matches all the boxes, and this is the option that we can call option number 5. In really simple terms, this is what we call a combined investment of investing in a company plus the maintenance of jobs in such companies. So basically what an investor must do is they must transfer the amount of at least 500,000 euros into an existing company in Portugal, and you will see what company and with what terms and conditions once Living Group presents their project. And then this company must maintain at least 10 working jobs during at least a 3-year period. Thankfully, this operation and this project that will be presented will not just comply with the minimum requirements, but they will keep and they will go one step further in order to keep all the requirements for even a longer period, so that the applications of any investor that wants to be part of it will never be in jeopardy. So, for example, they will not just have the minimum jobs, they will have more to make sure that in any eventuality, if someone gets fired or something, their investment, their golden visa will not be at risk. Some additional points that we consider to be relevant. As a lot of you probably know, the immigration office, which was called SEF before, was extinct. We now have a new office with a completely different mindset. I cannot say, unfortunately, that we are already seeing considerable improvements. Nevertheless, the mindset is there and the goal is there. So this office already presented themselves, and the director and everyone involved already vouched themselves as having a goal, several goals, being the main goal to try to clear all the existing backlogs and delays, or most of them at least, during this year of 2024. It's a reality. We cannot escape from it. We are experiencing these backlogs and these delays. Nevertheless, at the same time that this new office will try to clear them out, we are also experiencing, and we'll probably have some really good news, 100% sure. So they are already in place, but we don't want to jump into any conclusions before we have the regulations. But all signs point out to the fact that if before a client would apply to the golden visa and the clock for the 5 years to apply for the citizenship or permanent residence would only start counting from the moment they get the first card, there's a new law in place waiting for the final regulation that will most likely change that, and therefore the clock can start counting from the moment the process was submitted. And if this is the case, this will be probably the best news we have in the past 10 years, and this will result in a huge improvement to the program, because it will reduce the timelines, it will compensate everyone that's already into the process and it's basically losing time, and it will also be a huge confidence decision for everyone that wants to invest from now on. In terms of the steps and the timings, of course, as mentioned, we are still experiencing some backlogs and delays. So I'm not a big fan of giving proper timelines or some estimations. Nevertheless, in terms of the steps itself, they are pretty common. They are pretty similar to the ones that were before. It's really important to highlight that every step, every preparation, everything that must be done for a client to be able to submit the application and to become as part of the golden visa program, everything can be done remotely. So with the help of the legal representatives, the clients don't need to come to Portugal. They can of course come. We'll be more than happy that if they do, and we will be here to welcoming them, of course. But if they don't want to come, they don't need to do it. So everything from the choosing of the investment, the initial formalities, the gathering of the documents and completion of the investment, and then the submission of the whole documentation, the whole package into the immigration office, can be done remotely with the help of the legal representatives, with the help of the lawyers. Meaning that the clients will only need to come the first time in person to Portugal at the biometric appointment stage. This will be a simple appointment. They will come, all of them, the family included, regardless of the age, collect biometrics, go back, wait for the final approval. The card is issued, sent to us or to the client, up to us together to decide. And from the moment they have the card, they will start taking advantage of all the benefits and advantages we mentioned before. So the main goal of most of the clients, it's naturally the citizenship. Nevertheless, important to highlight that since the process itself remained the same, how it will work is you will have 3 stages, okay? You'll have the first application and 2 mandatory renewals. So far, the renewals, as always, represent a 2-year period each. As for the first application, since the pandemic and up till now, it's also a 2-year period, but there's the possibility of being a 1-year period. Nevertheless, this will only influence the amount of time that you'll have to spend in Portugal, because if it's 1-year validity, it's 7 days. If it's 2 years validity, as the renewals for sure, it's 14 days. How to do this? Pretty simple. You'll see the cards, you'll see an issuance date and an expiry date. You must comply with this minimum period, these minimum days between that period. And you can do it as you want. There's no specific rule if you have to come 14 days straight or 7 days straight, or if you come separated. As long as if you do the minimum, of course, truth be told, most clients, after coming the first time to Portugal, they fell in love with our country and they end up wanting to come more than the minimum. But if you only have that possibility, it will not be an issue. The fees have been updated. When I say the fees, I mean the administrative costs that are paid by the clients to the immigration office. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the investment or the lawyer fees. And these have been updated since 1st March 2024. So this will be the fees at least during this year of 2024 until they eventually change it, because they normally do every March of every year. They either increase a little bit or reduce a little bit. Sorry, it wasn't me, but just to conclude, no problem. Just to finalize, once you complete the 5 years, usually there are 3 options on the table. The clients can continue to renew the golden visa, the clients can apply for the permanent residence, or the clients, and this is the one most of them go for, clients can apply for the passport. Why they go for this one? All the benefits we mentioned before, how strong the passport from Portugal is, and the fact that the requirements are so similar between passport and permanent residence, that in the end makes more sense to actually go for the best, the one that is stronger. So in conclusion, I will pass the word to Living Group, to João and Nuno, but I just want to highlight that, as Judith said so well, this is still more than a valid option, if not the best one. It's already 100% clear that this program exists, will continue. Honestly, considering also the recent elections and everything, it should continue without the risk of changes in the near future, at least negative changes. And from our side, we'll be 100% available after this during this webinar for any questions you have, and after it to clarify any doubts, to provide any materials, and to assist with the process and with any matter related to the same. Thank you so much once again, and more than happy to assist and to help. Thank you.